Hello, awesome people. I hope you're having a great day today. Today we're taking a look at the novel Lord of the Spiders. It's about 106 pages long. I knocked it out in 2 days with 50 pages a day each in this Kane of Old Mars collection for you folks. It's set in the Eternal Champion collection. It's volume 9. I'll link it to you in the comments below in case you're interested in checking it out. Again, 106 pages long. I did 49 pages the first day and then finished the last 57 because of chapter breaks and stuff like that. But it was fun. Knocked it out. Definitely enjoyed going back and reading this a second time for you folks. And then doing a review for you guys. So let's go ahead and get started. This is a Sword and Planet style book for you folks. That means it's in the genre that was created by Edgar Rice Burroughs a few decades prior to this being published in the 60s. And it features people with low tech and adventuring in places like Mars, like John Carter of Mars and Venus and places like that. And a huge number of people copied Edgar Rice Burroughs, and Michael Moorcock did as well. So that's pretty cool. And anyway, so one of the things that's happening here is that our key character, Kane, is sent back to Mars rather than Mars. It's sent back to Old Mars. So he's created a teleporter, matter teleporter, and in the early parts of the first book, like the first chapter, and then he winds up trying to say it's successful at sending like rats and so forth, but no people want to go through it because who knows what's going to happen. So he just does it on himself. He thinks that's fair, and then he winds up in Mars thousands of years ago when it's still lush and fertile and so forth. And then he has that adventure that we've already reviewed for you folks, and now he's going back to Mars a second time for you folks and adventuring there. Now, Lord of the Spiders is named after a character who has a bunch of people that are humans on the top, but instead of horses on the back like a centaur, there are spiders on the back. They're called Spider-Men by Michael Moorcock, and I think that might be where Gary Gygax may have gotten the idea of the Driders for Dungeons and Dragons, because he, in Appendix N of the first edition Dungeon Master's Guide, he lists Michael Moorcock as one of the key influences on Dungeons and Dragons, and so. You can definitely see these things in the work and so forth. So the fact there are a bunch of gladiators running around this city and serving the Lord of the Spiders. I think that might been where he got that idea from. So that's pretty cool. Anyway. I like this. I think it's fun. It's interesting. You can read it very, very quickly. It's really two parts. Each read separately rather than one. For you folks, it's interesting. I enjoyed it, but then so some fun stuff will happen, but it's not great. I picked it up when Michael Moorcock was my favorite author for my last 3 years of high school and my first 2 years of college. That 5-year period, I was doing a deep dive into a lot of those things in the Eternal Champion series. I picked up this collection, but I didn't read it. And then I put it off, and then when I went back and reread some of those things like 10 or 15 years ago, I picked it up and actually read it and enjoyed it. So now I'm going back and reading a bunch of his stuff for the channel. The Eternal Champion series, again, was heavily influential on modern fantasy or other things too, like modern comics and video games and so forth, because the multiverse idea, first of all, the multiverse word comes from Michael Moorcock, and then second of all, the multiverse conflict actually happens here too. The Eternal Champion series comes from. Each of these different planes of existence have somebody who fights for as sort of like an aspect of the same person called the Champion Eternal, that the series gets its name from, and this person fights the good fight for law against chaos, and it has this central conflict, law versus chaos, on all the planes of existence. So that's where it comes from. So anyway, so that's the idea of this. Anyway, I'm giving this probably like a 7. It's fun, it's interesting, it's fast. It's probably a little too fast, but I'd rather be too fast. Too short, rather. I'd rather be too short than too long. But it's fun, it's well read, and there's a lot of fun combat stuff in it and stuff. It has some clever ideas, like the directors. They're called Spider-Man. But yeah, so it's fun. But I wouldn't say it's like the best book ever and so forth. But it's a nice place to go to after you've read John Carter of Mars, to read Kane of Old Mars. And see how he sort of evolved the genre over our time after Edgar Rice Burroughs created it, back in the early pulp era. So there are 11 TV to it. So again, I'm giving it a 7 out of 10. Have you read this? If so, what'd you think about it? let's talk about it in the comments below. If you enjoyed this, or you want to talk about my review or spoilers or the ending, let's do it. If you enjoyed this, why not hit that subscribe button? There's going to be a lot more to follow. And so thank you so much for taking some time out of your day and investing it and watching my video, because we all have so many things that are happening in our lives and we're pulled in so many different directions. So the fact that you spent this time with me is incredibly humbling, and I appreciate it. So thanks again, and have an amazing day.